Hey volunteers, my name is Melissa and I'm the behavior manager here at KHS. Thank you so much. We couldn't help our animals without you. It's really important here that we help our dogs learn how to behave. And that's where I come in. My team work with the animals, give them some skills, and just help them learn to be adoptable dogs so we can get them out of here. And that's where you come in. You can help us, help train, help get them out, help get to know them, all those kind of things. So we're really excited to have you. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm the lead behavior trainer here at KHS, and my job is to help you all learn how to safely get dogs in and out of kennel and judge whether or not they want your presence today and want your help getting out for a walk.
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm going to go over the signage on the dogs' kennels and how to interpret that, and then where to sign off on like which dogs you've exercised and how to prioritize which dogs to exercise and which dogs have already been out that day so they do not need exercise.
Hi guys, I'm over here on K2. I'm going to go over some kennel signage. So some things that you're going to see on the kennel card. So this is a blue tape right here. This means that this dog is awaiting surgery this day. And so they're not to have treats, food or water or walks just because they're getting a neuter surgery or something repaired within themselves. These little puppies, so they've got altered today. And then this is a really important one. This is a stop sign. This means this is a dog that you absolutely cannot walk under any circumstances. Spike's a real sweetie. He gets really scared of a lot of like stimuli, strangers, stuff like that. So this is just a way we advocate for our animals. You want to make sure you look for that when you're getting an animal out. And if you see that, stop and don't walk that dog.
The focus is going to be being able to get the dog in and out safely without them slipping through on you, but also kind of reading their body language at the front of the kennel. Even though that we have dogs who are available for walks, you know, dogs can be choosy just like people can. They may not want you to walk them. But as you can see up here, if you want to follow me, all of these dogs at the front are very loose. They're very wiggly body language. They're not alarm barking. You know, Snuffles, for example, Snuffles is right up here, ready to go, ready to say hi. That's a happy dog. If you're getting barked at, alarm barked, dogs are escaping out the guillotine, trying to hide from you, that's probably just not a good idea to get that dog out. So there's always other dogs who are going to be willing to go out with you. Just pass them up, let a behavior person know, and we'll get back and circle around for their walk.
All right, I am in our K1 office. It's just outside the K1 hallway with all the dog kennels. And this is a way that we track dog walks here, and we monitor which dogs are safe for volunteers to walk and which are not. We use a pretty easy system. It's just the flowers right here. If a dog has a flower on its kennel, right next to its name, that means that it is okay for you to get out of the kennel. So like Sadie here, she can be pretty mouthy and jumpy, so she's pretty inappropriate for novice volunteers to get out. And then you just want to make sure that when you're getting dogs out, you're getting a dog out that hasn't been out at all that day. So the days of the week are right here, and everybody's been out today, which is awesome. But let's say that Sugar hadn't been gone on a date today. This is empty. You'd want to prioritize her over getting someone else out that had already been out that day.
Whenever you're getting a dog out of your kennel, you want to make sure that you've got your slip leash on your hand, anchored on your thumb, like we discussed in some of the mentor meetings. Hold that at the center of your body. That way you're not getting like jerked around constantly. But then also the important thing too is to kind of keep some leverage on the door. You know, there's two puppies in here right now. They're obviously not going to bowl me over, but sometimes it's, 70, 80 pound big dog. So always having your knee or part of your body at the front of the kennel can always give you a little bit more leverage in case they decide to just jump up at the kennel. Don't feel bad if a dog gets loose on you. It happens to the best of us. In situations like that, you want to grab some help, get the dog back into their kennel as quickly as possible, maybe leash them up while they're running around. But if you ever have issues with a dog getting loose on you, just find a staff member as soon as you can. But for example, I've got my hand on my leash. I've got a generous amount of loop to fit whatever the dog's head size is. And often what I'll do is I'll use my thumb to push up right here on this little device that lets the kennel door open. So as you can see, I've got the door open, ready to leash the animal, but I've still got my knee on there, giving myself a little bit more of a brace. Oftentimes you can have the dog's head just slip right through the leash. Now, obviously, these are puppies, so they are trying to come out at the same time. But you can always let their head slowly come out of the gap right there. Hi, baby. Hello. And let them kind of just go right through the slip leash, and then you're on your way. If you ever feel like the dog is kind of 2 steps ahead of you and is trying to sneak out behind the loop, you are always free to walk into the kennel. And one of the best ways to do that is not to open it all the way outward, but to open that hatch, push the door inward, because all of our kennel doors swing inward as well. Go ahead and latch that gate behind you. That way the dog can't slip past you. Now, obviously, I've got 2 rowdy puppies in here, but it's much easier to slip leash one of them up, and then, they're already tethered to me. I'll just open the kennel door and we'll be on our way. The only tricky part about that is if you want to get a close-up view of the latch right here, once you're on the inside, what you're going to want to be able to do is use both of your hands, take one finger, lift, be prepared to lift right here, push this stopper up, and now you've got full range to open the kennel. And again, you've got the option to use this as another physical barrier to make sure that the dogs can't get past you. And the way to do that, again, is just to open it inward, keep your body in between the gap of the kennel, and kind of transfer half of your body out of the kennel while using the other half to be a physical block, and then all the way out, and you're good. Just always making sure that you hear that little latch noise. That way they can't get back out. For example, if you all want to follow me down here, some other dogs tend to stay towards the back of their kennels. As you can see, most of the available dogs up here are ripping and ready to go. But as you get further towards the back where you see stop signs, which you won't be walking anyway, but sometimes these dogs really do get nervous when they're meeting a new person. They're generally social, but they do, practice self-preservation. So if they're sitting there being very sweet, not hiding outside of the door, that's usually your green light to at least give it a shot.
My name is Danielle. I am with the behavior team here at the Kentucky Humane Society. I've got Luna here with us. We're going to show you how to properly walk a dog on leash. So you always want to maintain thumb through the loop and a good grip on the handle. That's the way that I find you have the most control over the dog while walking them. You can also have a second hand on the leash depending on how much slack the dog gives. Halfway down, a quarter of the way down. It's up to you. So when walking a dog, you always just want to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings, that there's not, going to be another dog popping up out of the corner. Obviously, you can't always predict that, but you want to try your best to avoid any distractions. Dogs do love to sniff, and that is one of our their basic needs for enrichment is olfactory. So you want to give them as much time as they need to sniff. Study actually shows that about 20 minutes of sniffing is equivalent to about an hour of heavy exercise. Hello, it's Danielle again. I'm going to show you the proper way that you should pick up a puppy and put down a puppy. So in these puppy pens, you always want to make sure you open the door. It stays latched just by this little piece of metal right here. And if the puppy, you want to wait till the puppy approaches you. Hi, baby. Hi. And I start by just scratching under their chin to let them know that I'm about to pick them up. All right. And then I take my one hand and place it under their butt, and then the other hand under their armpit. And then when you hold them, again, you want to make sure one hand is under their butt and under their armpit, and to fully support them. All right, so this is what we call our boneyard. Over here on the other side is our turf yard. You may use either of these yards for the puppies. Sometimes during the summer we have a baby pool in each yard, and in the summer we also have a awning that covers the turf yard so there is some shade. When out in the play yards, you just want to make sure that there's only one puppy out here at a time. And then if you're having trouble, keeping the puppy off of you, if they're jumping on you, biting like puppies do, you can always use a toy to redirect them. Get it. Oh gosh. All right, so we are done with playtime, so we're gonna go ahead and go in. When you are exiting the play yard, you wanna make sure that the puppy is in your arms at all times. We don't want puppies out here running around just because there is cross-contamination, things like that. And same thing, we don't want our puppies on the floor in the puppy room because of germs and things like that. People are walking through here constantly. When putting down a puppy, you never want to put the puppy over the puppy pen. You always want to make sure you are opening the door and using both hands to set the puppy down in the pen. Yeah! Right?
Welcome to orientation for Date with a Dog. This is a wonderful opportunity and program that gives a lot of our long-term shelter stays some breaks and some freedom to go out into the world and just live a normal life for a little bit. There are some main rules that I want to go over with you. 3 of the main rules are, can you sit, Leland? Come here. Good job. So, with the rules of the Date with the Dog program, they're not allowed to interact with any other animals when they're out on dates. There are just too many variables and too many things that could go wrong with that. While a lot of our dogs are dog and animal social, we just want to make sure that the day is just full of good times and nothing goes wrong. Through these rules, basically, it's going to be able to keep you safe with your animal, keep things positive and light for the day. Another one of the rules outside of not interacting with other animals is the leash needs to be in your hand at all times. You are more than welcome to come with friends, family, anything like that, but whoever is signed up for the date is the dog's advocate, so the leash needs to be in their hands at all times. Part of the other rule is they are equipped with an Easy Walk harness, a martingale collar, and a D-ring to connect it all together. Harnesses are pretty self-explanatory. It just gives a lot more control over the dog's movement. Leland, come, we'll show him your harness. Can you sit? So you can see he's got his Easy Walk harness on. That's the gray and the teal. And then he's got his collar on. Usually they'll have a martingale collar on. That is a collar that if it starts to pull over their head or would go over their head, it actually tightens instead and stops it from going over their head and then releasing them out into the world. And then on top of all of that, to hold it together, we have a carabiner or a D-ring that kind of holds it up together and gives it a bit more firmness. For the duration of their date, no matter where you are, whether you're going on a walk at a Home Depot or going out to a dog-friendly restaurant on the porch, they need to keep this equipment on at all times. There's just too many things that could go wrong if we start taking off this equipment. Sometimes it could be hard to put back on. Sometimes the dogs you're taking out really don't like all that level of handling, and we want to keep the date as fun and positive as possible. So you want to keep all that equipment on at all times, leash in hands at all times, and then making sure that they're not interacting with any other animals. Now, obviously, if you're going to go to a dog-friendly business, there's going to be other dogs there. So that kind of comes down to your level of comfort and ability to manage dogs when other dogs are around. You will sometimes get special instructions for case to case, depending on if we have dogs who aren't necessarily dog social. And we'll probably say things to you like, hey, maybe go to a quiet park somewhere, maybe go home with them. You are allowed to go home with the animals. Just make sure that you're observing those other 3 rules at all times. If you have other animals at home, you need to feel confident about managing them and keeping them away from each other. I have one volunteer. She has several animals. They stay in the sunroom. The dog that she goes on a date with hangs out with her in the living room, and it's all good. Say, shake off all that stress, buddy. Come here, big boy. Let's show him one more thing. Come here, big boy. Come on. Yeah. What you can see here, too, is we've fitted all this equipment ourselves. We've made sure that it stays nice and snug, but without rubbing too much underneath their shoulder lines or on their chest. And then we've kind of taken out all the guesswork on how it should fit and how it should lay on their body for you before you even come to get a dog for the day. So we'll take care of all of that for you. You just worry about taking them out, giving them a couple hours of freedom, and really just, improving their overall life and quality while they're waiting for their forever home.
Thank you so much for volunteering. Me and my team can't wait to meet you.